Is the initiative about supporting the local Indigenous businesses for the Indigenous people?
Well, there is. We have a number of initiatives. One of them's, as I've just been speaking about today, wherever the Commonwealth Government or the state government should be doing this, actually have an investment. So we're building a road, or we're building a school, or we're building a hospital, or we're doing something. We do so much work around the place. And what we've got to do is we've got to fight this circumstance where white people with nail bags get off planes and do business and fly out. We need to make sure we're engaging the local population and ensuring that they get jobs if there's jobs available. But if, like I said, we're building a road and roads need gravel and they need water, well, TOs have got gravel and water, and we need to make sure they get a benefit from being able to have a business that sells that gravel and that water. So I've had what we call the Indigenous procurement policy going now for a bit over, or around about 2.5 years. When we started off, I was pretty sad that we were only buying $6.2 million worth of business off Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses. So after 2.5 years, we now have over $1 billion. So from 6.2 million to $1 billion is just remarkable. And we didn't change anything. We didn't say, well, you know, countrymen have to do less or anything. They met the same standard, they met the same price, and they met the same time. This is over 1,000 new businesses, or businesses that are doing business with the Commonwealth. You know the most important thing? That's the really exciting thing. 50% Indigenous employment average across all of those businesses. 50% across all of those businesses. So that's really, really remarkable. So that's what we're doing, and we're showing the leadership, and we're hoping state governments, local governments do the same. Because it's not just a job, it's a change for a whole family, for family member works. This is just, you can't get any more important effort that we're making in this area to ensure that Aboriginal people from around Kununurra, whenever the government does anything, they're the ones who live here. So we need to buy local, we need to employ local, and that will benefit local people.
Is it about also supporting the non-Indigenous businesses to employ local Indigenous people?
Well, we have a number of programs that support existing non-Indigenous businesses to employ Indigenous people. So in this context, if you have Aboriginal people from around this area here, we have a number of programs, the Indigenous Employment Program, the Vocational Education and Employment Program, and where we're actually training someone to get a job. So we subsidise jobs, we pay for sort of 6 months, because if you stay for 26 weeks in a job, what the particular piece of information that's important, you'll still be in a job, 82% of you will still be in a job 2 years later. So once you're there for 6 months, you're really glued on, you're happy with it, you know, you're really going well in the job. So we pay on 26-week outcomes. It's cost me around about $10,000 subsidy. And so we're working with other businesses to ensure that they have more Aboriginal people working for them. And if you have more Aboriginal people working for you, you're more likely to get a contract of people like me, and hopefully the state governments and local governments. So we've all got to keep trying. I've shown it can be done. 6.2 million to over $1 billion with Countrymen and their business. Just a fantastic. And I could take the opportunity to congratulate them for their work, because it was Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that achieved this remarkable outcome in 2 years.
So how will it affect the native title holders from a business perspective?
Well, the native title holders have a great deal of opportunity. It's up to them fundamentally if something goes ahead on their country. And what's happened in the past has been, well, native title holders think about, well, how much money we should have to allow people to go ahead. It's been a transactional, normally financial transactional money to compensate for something they agree to. But more and more, I'm seeing a much more sophisticated approach from native title holders, and they're saying, well, we want 8 jobs locked in. We want 8 jobs for these 8 young men and women here. So those are the sort of things that I think traditional owners have brought to the table, and they're ensuring there's other values just apart from money transactions for native title. It's got to be job opportunities, and job opportunities in the long term. In terms of businesses for native title businesses, what I'm encouraging is through Indigenous Business Australia, We have an Indigenous business strategy plan that's there to assist businesses, to help do their books, to help get them contracts, to help to apply for things. We also I pay through the Indigenous Entrepreneurs Fund. I pay for things like a tractor or a piece of equipment that's just essential, because Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are historically undercapitalised, because we have what we call the Westminster system. Now, under that, land is king. If you own land, then you are wealthy. If you don't own land, then you are poor. So in that system where we took the land away from Aboriginal people when we first came to the country, what we did after that is that we made sure you couldn't own it for about maybe 100 years. So undercapitalisation for landholders is a big issue. And so we've got the Indigenous Entrepreneurs Fund to try to back that in with grants for equipment and machinery and those sort of things. So we've got quite a sophisticated suite of products that are available for Aboriginal people and traditional owners who want to get into business on developments on their own country and, in fact, anywhere.
Last question. For the kids, we have local kids around here that haven't got much to do, and education-wise, they're flying out of the Kimberley, and so is there a plan or anything for the local Aboriginal kids around here, or for kids in general?
Well, I can tell you that the best diversionary program for young people is school. There's too many young people here who are not at school. Today, today, a month's time, whatever, if there's anyone who's not at school, they should be at school. So I don't have one in Kununurra, but in Halls Creek I have my yellow shirts, the remote school attendance strategy. It's working really well. But can I say, I can't do a parent's job. I can't reach into the house and do what parents should do. So I would encourage parents, if you want your children to have the best opportunity in life, they have to go to school, and they have to go to school every day. Not until you feel like going to the radio or something else and the kids have got to come with you. Your responsibility as a parent is to make sure the kids are at school every day of school. And in terms of school holidays, well, we are working on some school holiday programs. As you know, there's some quite comprehensive one in Kununurra, Halls Creek and the region. But as I said, the most important thing, if you're going to benefit and have businesses, do things with your own land instead of having other people come to your land to go and have businesses, then you've got to have an education. And we're making significant investment through my remote school attendance strategy and a whole range of funding around that, that I think in the long term going to make a real difference to generations and generations of First Australians.
Thank you.